Hello everyone, it's 𝐒𝐻𝐳𝐸, and today I listened to the new Nas album called Magic. This is the brand new album, surprise released on Christmas Eve from legendary New York rapper Nas. Nas has been at it since the early 90s, and like most people, I got into him through his classic album Illmatic. An album with a timeless atmosphere, perfect beats by some of the greatest producers of all time, and immersive storytelling from Nas. Illmatic wasn't quite love at first listen for me like so many other classic hip-hop albums like Biggie's Ready to Die and Wu-Tang's 36 Chambers, for example. But as I untangled its webs of intricate wordplay and sunk into its depths of gritty yet beautiful moods, it became one of my favorites.
The Mac 10 was in the grass and I ran like a cheetah with thoughts of an assassin.
Unfortunately, I was kind of disappointed by its follow-up It Was Written, and even more so the follow-up to that, I Am. But shortly after that I started getting to the new stuff he was releasing at the time, and I did enjoy his collaboration with Damian Marley, Distant Relatives, although 2012's Life Is Good was a bit of a disappointment. I then went back to hear Stillmatic, which I enjoyed, and then The Lost Tapes, which I enjoyed even more. But it was with 2018's NASIR, fully produced by Kanye West, that I think Nas entered a new era of creative success. It's quite surprising to me that that album isn't so well loved. I think it's fantastic. I enjoyed last year's King's Disease just as much as well, and I was glad to see that album get the praise it really deserves. The album was fully produced by Hit Boy, and Nas and Hit Boy have been working together ever since, including on this new album. Annoyingly, I missed out on hearing this year's sequel, King's Disease 2, just because there were too many new albums coming out at the time, and I really regret missing it actually. I'm still quite keen to hear it, but before that we've got this brand new album, Magic. The rest of this video will be highlights from my live stream over on Twitch, where we listen to the album in full for the first time. If you'd like to join me for some full album listening parties, you can follow me over there at twitch.tv/𝐒𝐻𝐳𝐸. So do me a favor and click the like button on this video, and let's get into the album. This is a pretty short album, only 29 minutes, 9 tracks, a little bit more in line with the NASIR format. But other than that, I have really no idea what to expect, haven't heard anything of it, no singles, so let's get into it. Track 1 is called Speechless.
21 years past the 27 club. It's like I went back into my past and then I sped it up. Must be on my side. I had to eat and provide. My
beat is really interesting.
Tell it like it is. You gotta deal with the consequence when you running the niggas' cribs. Nigga, you better be ready to sit. Left them speechless.
My God, really couldn't ask for a stronger opening track, could you? Fantastic beat. Loved the evolution it went through, introducing all those different guitar ideas. I wonder what it was sampling. Nas sounds fantastic, sounds hungry. He had everything from a great hook to memorable lines, some clever moments, and even some pretty impressive quick flows in the middle there. We really had a bit of everything. Very satisfying track. Off to a fantastic start. Track 2 is called Meet Joe Black.
Making hits with Hit Boy, all he gotta do is hit record. Record breaking news, had to show up just to fill a void. You cannot hold that. I'm not the one to go at. You fuck around, meet Joe Black.
Another great hook.
Was already on Houston Street. I caught the bounce before my nigga even bounced the beat. I took the hard way in this. Run me the keys, run me the bees, run me that flow back. In top 3, I'm not number 1. How could you post that?
That hook is so old school East Coast.
You fuck around, meet Joe Black.
Another great track. Another fantastic hook, very memorable and old school, and yet Hit Boy's production sounds pretty fresh. I wasn't totally sold on that beat for a little while, but by the second half I was starting to really feel it. There was a decent bit of emotion in the changes, and it just worked really well with what Nas had to say over it. It sounded nostalgic and heavy as well, heavy. All right, track 3 is called Ugly.
105 Fahrenheit, thunderous skies that reside under his eye, teardrop got the ugliest cry. They call my yeah, it's ugly outside. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I see that the envy is obvious. It's ugly outside. It's grown men jealous outside.
So that track felt to me a bit more like the King's Disease stuff than the first 2 tracks, which were quite different, I thought. But I still thought it was a really great track. There was this woozy piano sample that worked really well against the theme of the song. The sample in it felt like it was, you know, expressing beauty but with something slightly off about it. So that worked really well in that way. Unfortunately, I didn't think the song had as strong a hook as the first couple tracks, but you know, that's okay. In some ways, I do feel it kind of broke the mood that the first two tracks set up, but if I think about the song as its own entity, it's cool. It's really good. But yeah, it's making me wonder how this is all going to come together. Track 4 is called 4016 Building.
I got so many kids in the game, it's like a gender revealing. I got that feeling like a Richie dancing.
This beat has a kind of Illmatic vibe, or the Lost Days kind of era.
I'm not an entertainer, that's just a disclaimer for what I'm about to say. Famous people say it ain't hate being fame. If they don't say I'm the GOAT, that's the silly behavior. It's the ones you grew up with that told niggas I was in rare form on the last album. I ain't playing out here.
Nice. Yeah, that was a nice switch up in mood. I was quite into it. It's got that kind of Supreme Clientele kind of feeling about it. I enjoyed it, and there was a lot of witty lines. Nas had me smiling a few times in that one. Liked his confidence. And yeah, sounds great. Although I guess I am still hoping for a bit more of a return to the slightly fantastical feeling of the first couple songs. And with the album title Magic, it does make me think I'm hoping for more of that kind of slightly off-kilter vibe. All right, track 5 is called Hollywood Gangster.
Shout my young New York niggas out there on that drill shit. 12 minutes. I put the real and real nigga, that's on my mama though.
Oh,
Homie,
this
you
is
gotta
cool.
feel me from Cali out to chopping up competition. Palms itching, Bohemian Grove couldn't get Nas to visit.
I wonder if King's Disease 2 is more like this, or more like King's Disease 1.
To take it back in time to today, I'm smashing. Flick out ashes, flip girls on a mattress. Sipping liquor, taking photos, and I slid with a cougar. Could've pulled a young love, but I took who was choosing. That's the hood. I ain't come
Love
with a
that
shooter.
flow. Very nice. I definitely got what I wanted with that one. It brought things back to that slightly nostalgic, slightly magical feeling. But it also had a little bit of that, you know, gangster vibe that had built up over the two tracks before it. So yeah, I felt like that track was perfectly placed in the album. Loads of great lines again. Fantastic flow at one point in that track. Really got me hooked. And yeah, just as with the first couple songs, just a little bit of a tinge of emotion in there as well, which works really well. Track 6 is called Woo for the Children.
We teach the children. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Are we gonna get some kind of Wu-Tang sample?
Claim so
Seems
powerful.
like this is gonna be
the
a
one you
beatless
said he
one.
has a whole lot of pull prop. Nas enthusiasts thinking they know what's best for me. More than I know what's best for me. No rest for me. Got a hit, turn up the sample, we make it magic. What a feeling, I should've had Grammys when No Dirty said woo for the children. Should've did that remix verse on. Gotta be a special type nigga to feel what I write. Special like my classics.
Cool. So I'm not always a fan of the beatless style of hip hop. I mean, often I just feel frustrated, you know, I want a beat to come in. But, you know, I thought that one worked pretty well. It worked well that it wasn't too long. And I mean, all of the songs on this album are about 3 minutes long. So I did enjoy the emotion of it. And the hook was very compelling, you know, him talking about wanting to move on in his style and not let fans hold him back. All right, track 7 is called Wave Gods. It's featuring A$AP Rocky and DJ Premier. DJ Premier straight away.
Me and Hit Boy, they say we like the new gangstar. Me and Flacco, they say shine my nickel plated, then I'm starting my day. My old lady called me baby, told apart in my age. The niggas talking nonsense, call them nasty Nostradamus. Rock the pearls and diamonds.
Rocky sounds pretty good over an old school beat.
Yeah, trying to fuck monotone style like Guru on Supremo cuts. Kunek by McQueen go nuts. Nasty niggas hit the lick like.
That was very easy to enjoy. That's a rare track where I feel like I could have enjoyed it for even longer. I was really happy with A$AP Rocky's whole verse, and he was really given the space to show what he can do over this kind of beat. And it's made me want to hear A$AP Rocky rap over this kind of instrumental some more. Like I said, he can really swing. Sounds great. And yeah, Nas's hook in there was very entertaining. Good to hear that he's feeling so good about his collaboration with Hit Boy. They just see that it works. He said that they're like the new gangstar. Yeah, well, long may it continue. All right, next up, track 8 is called The Truth.
Them niggas do a crime, I drop a rhyme, it's the same rush. And they been sending shots a nigga way, but they ain't struck. Turn that murder was the case up. Thinking when I drop my first shit, I'm leaving they face scrunch. They ain't shit to the kid. Now you got your marching orders. This shit'll make your mouth water. Crank the engine on the 74. Chevy Seville, shorty friend is a snake.
Another really cool, pretty dark kind of beat. And nostalgic again in a way. That time, again, calling back to the kind of 2000s era, I guess. And it's been quite interesting that most of the beats feel like they're calling back to a different era, so it's not nostalgic for one particular time. It's like Hit Boy feels he can just take inspiration from any point in Nas's career and combine it together and make something fresh. And I'm really enjoying it for that. Nas's lyrics in that were pretty entertaining. Nice flow as always, although not quite as standout as some other tracks we've heard on the album, I would say. We're already on the last song. Very short album. I'm not necessarily sure it's been entirely satisfying, but let's see how he wraps it up. Track 9, it's called Dedicated.
When Carlito was dying, you see the shadow of his girl dancing with the baby. Like, fuck it, it's my time. Dedicated my whole damn life. If I wanted to now, I could live.
Ooh, beat switch.
You know,
something a bit more emotional.
Yo, ghetto manners, is you thugging me or axing, finessing me or pressing me when laughing with African presidents while over the phone. Should be feeling like the last days, no tricks, just real shit straight out the kitchen. Pure magic.
Well, it's a pretty nice way to end the album. Really liked the somewhat emotional journey that last track takes you on. Starting out quite nostalgic, but sounding quite modern, and then going into that more grand kind of ending with a melancholy tinge. Yeah, I was into that last track. But I have to say what's been on my mind for a lot of the album, which is that I'm not sure it does enough. You know, it feels more like an EP with a couple extra tracks rather than a full complete album. And it's not really because of the length, it's just because I'm not sure there were enough surprises. In the first couple tracks, I was really impressed. I really liked the way it was going. I liked the atmosphere it was setting up. Then there were a couple tracks that felt a little bit more standard and like the stuff I heard on King's Disease, which still sounded good, but it just meant that I felt that it didn't really take me anywhere too exciting, the album, which I really felt like it was going to do at the beginning. It seemed like it was going to be a special journey of some kind, but yeah, it didn't really end up being the case. That being said, I think I enjoyed every track to some degree. I got something out of every moment. I enjoyed almost every beat, and Nas feels like he has a lot to say, that he's hungry, which is great to hear, you know? At his point in his career, it feels like he's in a good place. But yeah, I guess the album just feels, for whatever reason, a bit incomplete. Considering it came after so soon after King's Disease 2, there's every possibility that this is a Leftovers album. Either that or they just hooked up again really quickly after the last one just because they had more left in them. So not necessarily leftover tracks, but leftover ideas, leftover inspiration, you might say. It makes me want to hear King's Disease 2 because I want to know how it got to this point. I want to know what the journey was. But yeah, I did enjoy this album. Even if it's not a masterpiece or anything, it's still good, still enjoyable. And yeah, it's just great to hear Nas putting out good music at this point. You know, continuing to put out good music because I've really enjoyed everything he's done since 2018. He's having a bit of a renaissance period, which is really great to see. I guess I was hoping for a bit more from this album, but what I got is still very pleasing. So let me know down in the comments what you thought of this album. Is Nas still keeping up his winning streak? If you missed the full stream and would like to see it, you can find it in my full streams archive over on Patreon. I want to say thanks very much to all my current Patreon supporters. You're really helping me to be able to keep making these videos, keep my channels going. I really appreciate it. And thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take it easy.